In a town 58,000 strong, there moved a foreigner. He was a Jewish man from the ocean. Yet, he traveled to a land with no water to find a new life. He arrived upon plains so big, you could only call it the middle of nowhere. Now, live from a land so vast, this is his cast.
Oh, the humanity.
Cowboys, cowgirls, studs, mayors, and farmers of all ages. This is the middle of nowhere cast.
I guess let's get started, shall we?
Yeah.
Mayor Monson, thanks for coming to interview me.
Yeah.
Well, for me to interview you, I guess. I appreciate it. So, could you start off by just giving me a brief history of Blanding and kind of how the town came to be where we are now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not probably the best historian when it comes to what the history of Blanding is, but when it was settled, there was some talk, I guess, of what it should be named, and I probably could be corrected by lots of different people because, like I said, I'm not the best historian when it comes to Blanding. But originally the idea was that it should be called Grayson, and maybe it was called Grayson for a while. So there's lots of connections to that name as far as Grayson. Like there's a Grayson Parkway in town and different connections to Grayson. Like some people name their kids Grayson that have been here just for connection. Yeah.
A community name or something?
But Albert R. Lyman was what the founder, I guess, of Blanding. As far as a year, I couldn't tell you the year off the top of my head.
That's fair.
But it's always just been connected to the hole in the rock. If you've ever heard of the hole in the rock, the Mormon pioneers that settled in kind of the bluff area, and the people that kind of moved on through the hole in the rock pioneers is kind of where the connections came through. So Albert R. Lyman was part of that group. Settled Blanding, slowly became what it is today.
There you go. Sweet. Next, could you just tell me a little bit about your history, how you became mayor, your life story up until this point, briefly?
Yeah, so I've been here forever. I'm born in Provo, Utah. My parents were going to school up at BYU, but then they're both from here, so I moved back with them and have lived here ever since. But I was on city council for 4 years before I became the mayor, and I've been the mayor for about 2 years now. I have 2 years left. I have 4 kids. My wife's from Monticello, so a super young family, but
Awesome.
I'm a nurse here. My wife's a teacher, so we just have jobs that keep us in the community. And originally, when I wanted to get involved with like city council related stuff, I was like, I feel like I'm complaining about a lot of different things, and I say a lot of different things by maybe like the streets need swept or something super small like that. And so then you get involved and you're like, there's maybe a lot more to city council and city government than sweeping a street or city recreation or something like that. So initially it was getting involved with something small, and then it kind of morphed into learning that it's a lot more than that.
Well, I guess, yeah. Well, just like what you were talking about earlier before we came in about all the stuff that you got to do, filling in for people and whatnot.
Yeah.
So what does the role of mayor mean to you then? Both in a legal sense, which your obligation, and then socially, what do you do for the community, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, most of the time I don't feel like I do much. I mean, like, I don't feel like it's a position of power or anything like that. Like, it doesn't make me any different. I don't feel like I don't take it as like a treat me different kind of a thing, which I know that some people might use that, but legally, I guess it's just kind of making sure the city is where it needs to be and how it's ran and different things, but it's not a oftentimes it could be taken as a part-time job, and it's not a part-time job. I mean, I don't get to never not be the mayor. Like, it's just
Right. 24/7.
all the time. But it's a lot of fun too. I mean, like every day, even at church or wherever I am, like someone is like, "Hey, Mayor, how you doing?" You know, like even the little kids. Like there's a group of kids at the high school that no matter where I am or what I'm doing, they're always saluting me. And it's like at a basketball game, at a football, like it's just super funny. Like, and they started doing it to my wife, and she hates it. Like,
I can imagine me. That would probably be me if I was in high school. Yeah, it's pretty good.
But it's fun. No, I like it. I don't know. It doesn't necessarily mean a lot other than it's fun to represent the community and kind of help where I can.
So then, besides the salutes, is there any special privileges you're afforded as mayor of this small town?
I mean, I get to ride in the parade on the 4th of July. Like, that's awesome.
That is pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Could you, if I had a speeding ticket or something from yesterday, could you talk to somebody about that?
Yeah, so in the code somewhere, I mean, I don't know if it's state code, city code, I can pardon
Oh, really?
city violations. Now,
Have you ever done that?
no. Would I ever do that? No. Like, I feel like, why would you get involved in that kind of a thing, you know?
Right. That's, true. Fair enough. No. I don't actually have a speeding ticket.
That's good.
I'm a very law-abiding citizen, Mr. Mayor.
Awesome.
So what are some unique challenges that Blanding might face as a really small city that, say, the mayor of Chicago or the mayor of New York City would never think to deal with?
Yeah, I mean, Blanding's unique in the sense of that we probably do have a lot of similar situations. Like, we own our utilities, like power, water, sewer, like all that. We own our own utilities, which most places our size don't.
Would it be state-owned?
Some like have to buy, like they don't own their own power company because it's owned by, say, like Rocky Mountain Power owns their utility.
Oh, I
power
gotcha.
company. But ours is our own. We have to buy our power from other places, but the infrastructure we own. So, and water's a big deal to us here. Like, we're in a drought most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So having enough water to get through the year is always a big deal. So we're always trying to like make sure the reservoirs are full so that when it comes time for summer, we have water to water lawns and fields and just different things. But I don't know. I mean, probably the most unique thing is that as a city of 3,500 people, we know everybody. Like, that should be cool. You're a big city. Like, you're not going to know most of the people that you're running around with. So that is something that makes us unique.
So what does community mean to you?
It's huge. I mean, if you have something in Blanding, if there's, some kind of a tragedy, something that happens to a family or something, everyone's going to support that person. And it happens all the time. I mean, we've seen it to where someone loses a spouse, loses a kid, and the community just kind of takes them on and makes sure that they're okay. But it also means that in the good times that they're there too. Like, just on Friday night, you go to a football game and everybody's there. Like, you don't miss a football game. You don't miss supporting the kids and their sports and different things. So it's not just the good times or the bad times. It's just all the time, people just support people and are there for them. And I think that's what community is for Blanding, at least.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I like that. What is important to the people of Blanding?
I think being able to, there's lots of things. I mean, we kind of talked about water a little bit. Water is always a hot topic in Blanding.
Right.
Public land is important. If you've heard anything recently of national monuments, you've heard of Bears Ears National Monument, and it's a big deal for people here. We don't want to be we don't want to have land taken away in a way that feels more restricted.
Got it. Freedom.
Yeah, freedom. We want protection on land just as much as anybody else, but we also want to keep it a secret in a way, you know, like you advertise something as a big monument, more people are going to come, and it's probably going to get trashed a little bit more because there's no resources to actually take care of it. So public lands, water, just the community in general, they're all hot topics, I guess.
What is one thing you want the rest of the world to know about Blanding, Utah? Right here. Look in the camera and shout it out.
I mean, maybe I don't want people to know about Blanding. You know, stay away. Just kidding.
Oh, okay. Well, James Bond action.
It's really just a great place. Like, if anyone were to ever be looking for a place to visit, it's Blanding. And I say that because you mentioned it earlier when you were talking about your drive yesterday, but there's such a change in the scenery of just, 20 minutes you can be up on the mountain and up in the green forest, but you drive down to Monument Valley and you're down in the desert, and then you can be in Lake Powell. Like, we're just kind of the central location to just being at all the different places that you want to be in the Four Corners area. Lots of great places to visit, hiking. It's really awesome.
Cool. Is Blanding a great place to live? Why or why not?
I would say so. I don't ever plan on leaving, and I think it's because of what it is. It's home. I think that when I went to school, as far as high school and different things, I for sure wanted to get out of here. I didn't want to be in Blanding. Like, everyone knows your business. Everyone,
right?
Just it feels too small. But then you kind of grow up, and that's what home is, and there's a sense of community and a sense of just people caring about you. And I love it here, obviously, but I think that there's lots of good jobs here. As far as jobs go, teaching is a big education. There's a lot of education style jobs here with the school district. Healthcare, the uranium mill here provides a lot of jobs.
Well, I didn't know there was a uranium mill here.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so lots of things here. Yeah.
Sick. Cool. Well, Blanding is one of the last remaining dry towns in America.
Yeah.
Could you tell me a little bit about that? What's the philosophy behind that, and is that ever going to change?
Yeah, I mean, just growing up, I don't know if I know the full backstory behind it, other than it's just, from what I know, it's just been, that's how it's been, like it's been attempted to change a few times, and they've put it up on the ballot. I was on council, I think, the last time it was put on the ballot to be voted on, and it was voted against. People didn't want it. And personally, I don't know if I have a preference. I don't know if I would care either way. I feel like access to something is, whether you want it or not, there's access wherever you get it, whether it's here or 20 minutes away or whatever it is,
True.
But it is interesting that it's not, and I think that that's one of those things that does make Blanding a little bit unique, in the sense that, people want things the way that they are, and they don't have issues saying what they want. And I think that that's pretty cool.
Huh. That is pretty cool. Yeah. All right, I have 2 more questions for you and then a little game to play.
Okay.
Can you tell me the story of the 2009 federal sting operation in Blanding?
I can.
Yes.
And
Here we go.
And maybe in a way that, I don't know, people might not. I don't know. So I'm actually pretty good friends with the Reds.
Wow.
Dr. Red. So I grew up, my family grew up with, my grandma babysat and watched their kids growing up, and so we grew up pretty close to them. And that heartbreaking, I think, is probably the biggest thing that I can say, and just with Blanding, I think that's what the story that you'll get is just the overwhelming tragedy that it felt like when the government felt like they were attacking or pinpointing one specific family for something that felt pretty insignificant. And I get the significance behind a lot of it. But there was a lot to it that led to a lot of different things. And for the sake of what politics is, I'll leave a lot of that out. But I think that the overwhelming feeling of it all was pretty tragic for me.
Huh. Well, how do you think the community reacted to it?
The same. I think it involved a lot of family members that were pretty close to all of the different family members, and not knowing what was going on. I think when you live in a town of 3,500 people and you see a caravan of FBI agents and whatever else agents coming into town with Suburbans with tinted windows and things, just a line of cars, we're talking 20 plus cars coming in, like people, who knows what's going on, like you get a gut-wrenching feeling of something bad is about to happen, and you don't know what's happening, and you don't really maybe want to know what's happening just because of how that feels and what it looks like, and then you learn of some of those things, and then you have those same agents that were in those cars that are on top of houses with their assault rifles. It doesn't paint a very good picture in a super small town, any town really. I mean, I don't know. It was hard to watch. It's hard to still think about because of how close those families were to each other, but then just to the community in general.
Yeah.
I mean, we've lost a family doctor out of all of it. I mean, it's pretty heartbreaking to the community.
And the way you're describing it, it must have felt so helpless, like you're not bothering anybody. This is the little slice of paradise. And all of a sudden, the federal government storms in. You guys don't get a say. We're going to do what we want.
Yeah.
And then they leave without realizing the lasting impact it could have.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I remember days later. Well, so I remember when we found out that Dr. Red had passed away. I was at my grandma's house, and we had just gone out there because we were really, my mom was his nurse. My mom's a nurse as well. And so she worked with him. So we had gone out there and talked to the family, and later, like when they were doing the funeral and stuff, I remember I didn't even go to the funeral because I stayed up at the house. I stayed at their house because we didn't know what was happening. We didn't know that people were going to come again to go search their house again. So I sat up at their house for them so that they could go and mourn the loss of their dad and father and this doctor in this town. And I sat up at the house hoping no one else would come and go through the house again, So I don't know. It was crazy.
Well said. Dang. Okay, so last question. Since you joined City Council in 2018, what is one tangible way that the lives of your citizens have improved because of your work?
Probably the most recent and fulfilling thing for me recently, and maybe a good lead into that, was talking about this I guess, the raid and different things. Is we just this last year got a school resource officer into the schools in Blanding.
Cool.
So we worked with the city of Blanding worked with the school district, and we hired a full-time officer to be in all the schools in Blanding. Now, I don't want to say that we feel like the government is, I don't want to tie that into there.
Right.
That's the connection. I think that it goes without saying that we feel like the schools need to be safer in general throughout the country, but it was our way of saying this is something we could do. We felt like there was a need. So we worked with the school district, which they were super awesome to work with us. They, paid for half of that. And we paid for half of it. And now we have in the Blanding schools a full-time officer that goes through all the schools. And we've already seen that it's made a huge difference in the schools. There's been fights avoided. There's been behavior issues that we've been able to see that has already been, we're only 2 weeks into the school year, but
nice. Right on.
See a difference
Cool.
already. Like, I feel like that's probably the most rewarding thing that we've seen in the, 6 years that I've been involved. And there's other things too. Like, there's a list, and you always forget of the things that you do because they don't seem very significant, but you forget how it impacts people. Just another huge one is the Westwater project. I don't know if you've heard of that, but there's a community west of Blanding that hasn't had power or water. They're not part of the city. It's a little subdivision. The Navajo Nation privately owns that spot there. But they haven't had power or water, and so we worked with several different entities, the state, the Navajo Nation, lots of different agencies, and we got them hooked up to power last year. And then we're working on the water piece, and hopefully by the end of next year we'll have running water on this one.
Cool. Sweet.
Big things, yeah.
Yeah. I asked that question because I feel like a lot of time is me, not a mayor, obviously.
Right.
I sit and just like you said, I'm complaining about this or I'm complaining about that. You don't realize what's actually being done for you.
Yeah.
Until, asking your mayor, for example, and then they say, hey, do you have water and power now? You didn't have that 2 years ago.
Well, the millions of dollars in the streets, and just we can turn the lights on every day, and of course each household pays for that. Like, I'm not saying that we do everything for the citizens of Blanding, but there's lots of things that go into it that make it happen every day. So.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, well, you want to play a little game now?
Sure.
This is a little game called What Would You Do?
Exciting.
I'm going to give you some high-pressure situations ranging from more serious to a little bit more outlandish at the end, and I want you to tell me how you would handle it in your capacity as mayor of Blanding. Okay? Mayor Monson, the people need to know. You happen upon a bear on a hike up in the mountains. What would you do?
I personally would panic. I'm terrified of bears.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, Mayor Monson, the people are just on their hands and knees begging. They need to know. What would happen? There's a nasty 14-day blizzard that shuts down Route 191, Route 95, and the airport. How do you get your town resources?
Oh, I think that we have an airport, so we would be creative and try and get as much as we could in.
Airport's down.
Airport's down too.
Airport's down too.
Dang it. We would go old-fashioned and would go hunting.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Live off the land. Okay, sweet. So, City Council member Eric Grover comes to you with proof that Bigfoot is living in the edge of the Cedar State Park. What would you do?
Eric and I are going to go hunting as well. We're gonna go get on his horses, and we're gonna go find Bigfoot.
Okay. And you're gonna... Well, people have tried before. All right, I like the confidence.
Yeah.
So, Mayor Monson, you've been approached by Big Candy and informed Blanding is only allowed one type of candy bar for the next 10 years. What would you pick?
I think it has to be an Almond Joy.
Almond Joy. Now, is that a selfish answer for you, or is that what you think your constituents would want?
It's very selfish.
Yeah.
Especially considering that I have a daughter that's allergic to nuts. So, she ain't getting any candy.
Okay. Governor Cox calls you late one evening to tell you that Utah is going to join borders with one of its neighbors to make a combined state. The pressure is simply too much for him to bear. So he's making you pick. Who would you choose? Idaho, Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, or Nevada?
Wyoming.
Why?
Oh, why not?
Did you know that's the state slogan of Wyoming?
No.
They just changed it.
So I feel like
Just a
I feel
little-
like it has to be at this point. There's no other option, right? No, I feel like I don't know Wyoming super well, but I was just in Wyoming, and it was a super awesome state.
Cool.
I was there last week.
Sick.
Yeah.
Or where were you?
In Jackson.
Oh, okay. Right on. Yeah.
I was there for some meetings.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Sick. All right, cool. Wyoming. Hey, that's pretty cool. You picked my home state. Thank you.
Nice.
Appreciate it. All right. Well,
Thanks for
Logan.
coming. Yeah, appreciate it.
thanks for having me in this town. Thanks for
coming
joining
by.
me. Oh yeah, sweet.
Travel safe.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate it. Good luck with all your meetings and everything.
Thank you.